Okay guys, I know you guys have been waiting for this for a long time, and it is currently 8:40, and that means I just watched episode 1 of Power Rangers Dino Fury. So I obviously took notes of what went down, and I'll review it. So let's go. I'm super hyped for it, and good job to the cast, good job to everyone who produced it, good job, y'all really laid down the law. Let's get to it. So, in the show, there's something called Buzz Blast, and Amelia works there. Amelia knows something about something called Dino Henge. I don't know what it is, but apparently it's something that most people really don't believe, but there is a big superstition behind it. But I think her boss or teacher maybe does not want to hear her do anything like that. Instead, she wants her to focus on like beauty products and stuff like that. But Amelia keeps pestering her, so the teacher or boss eventually gives up and gives her a chance. So Amelia then goes in the woods trying to locate a ghost, but actually she sees something, but it's not a ghost obviously. She hits a man, which is Ollie, who is biking around the area. So they team up and they make conversation. And we find out that Ollie's mother is an archaeologist. They find 6 dinosaur statues which Ollie's mother is working on. And Ollie's mother sends some drones near the statue which activates a earthquake or a rumble. But then it stops. And they find out below the statues that there is some kind of headquarters or base. But then an annoying park ranger comes in and says, oh, you can't operate here. And so, but even though they try to explain themselves, they can't because the park ranger doesn't really like Amelia that much because of some issues they had in the past. But so Amelia and Ollie then take out the Ollie's mother's things, pack it up, and Ollie's mother then has to go to the station to fill out a report. So they team up, but then during that, they argue and they basically roast each other. Like, Ollie was like, it's the facts, you know, you can't believe in something without evidence. But Amelia was like, oh, it's just, if I can find, I know this is true, you know, that kind of thing. But then, during this argument, um, there's some kind of night alien purple ranger thing. We all know it's Void Knight, but like, I'm trying to speak in ways that, that people who haven't seen Dino Fury will understand. So um, that purple dude, the purple guy, he has like this little beam tracker which senses energy, and he's looking and he detects something underground and he basically blows up the underground. And in the base, there are some kind of knights. So once he blows it up, he enters, and Ollie and Amelia follow him. And once they are in the base, they find out there are some kind of knights, some kind of like chess piece knights. And then we see a dinosaur alien, and he needs a guy called Zato to help him fight off Void Knight, the purple man, because obviously he can't. We find out the guy is called Void Knight, and Void Knight knows what Zato is, which is a Power Ranger. Ollie and Void Knight is about to take a swipe at the dinosaur, but Ollie steps in the way and protects the dinosaur, and Amelia shoots him, Void Knight, with the net blaster that she used against Ollie. The dinosaur tries to help. The dinosaur tries to help. The dinosaur tries to help Amelia and Ollie by throwing them a key, which would activate the knights around the room, and that would cause them to move and help them fight off Void Knight. But Void Knight catches it, and he actually uses it against them. And the Stone Knights then go in to attack Ollie and Amelia. So we find out that during this fight, Ollie has done some fencing and karate, but Amelia has just done karate. But it both helps them at least temporarily until the dinosaur it helps them temporarily to fight off the Stone Knights. The dinosaur keeps trying to wake up Zato from his tube machine thing, both Ollie and Amelia's swords, they activate the morphers because I'm guessing you know how it goes. Oh, they're pure of heart. They risk their lives to protect someone. So obviously they were the chosen ones. They are you and the swords actually give them their dino morphers. Then the dinosaur robot cyborg thing throws them their keys, their ranger keys, not the megaforce ones, it's a different one. But yeah, so he throws the keys to them and they plug it in into their morphers, and that causes them to turn into Power Rangers, specifically pink and blue, and they are able to finally fight off the knights, the corrupted knights. And you know they make conversation as well during the fight. You gotta put those one-liners in. But then apparently Ollie says something that if you watch the news, there will be swords. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. So Void Knight is still looking around and he then finds it. It's something called Sporks and it looks very gooey. It kind of looks like a blob of slime, but there's like little beads coming out like bubbles. I don't know what it is, but the dinosaur Sporix, Saito then goes into battle after the dinosaur is finally able to wake him up. And they then go into battle and he is the red Dino Fury Ranger. Then we find out the dinosaur's name is called Zonaron. I don't know what that name is. Zonaron. I don't know. I really don't know. So they work together to try and fend off Void Knight and the Knight. But accidentally, during the fight, Zaito accidentally hits, Zaito tries to attack Void Knight by throwing his sword or a dagger, but it actually deflects back and it actually hits the Sporix case, which lets them free. And then Zaito tries to, all three of them try to, so Void Knight tries to get all of them, but so the Sporks then go out of the base and Void Knight, Zaito, Ollie, and Amelia try to follow, but Void Knight cuts them off by literally slashing the wall, causing them to block off the, tunnel. But Zaito, when Void Knight actually gets out of the base, he then finds a Sporix laying on the floor, and we find out that the Sporix actually contain monsters, and this one's kind of like a unicorn. So it's kind of like how the Sporix, it's kind of, what was it? I'm trying to think of a season that did this. I'm trying to think of a season that did this, but I can't remember. Anyway, so Sporix and Void Knight is able to get one, which is a monster egg, and then they apparently, so back at the base, they all unmorph, and Amelia and Ollie then see that Zato is actually an alien. And Zato has the ability to read minds, so he's able to know what Amelia's names are and Ollie's names and their personality and stuff like that. Zato then asked the Zonaron dinosaur cyborg guy how long he was in the stasis pod, which I'm guessing was that little big giant tool machine thing. And the dinosaur says 65 million years, which is insane to me. But then we find out the name is called Zonaron. So then we get a flashback on why Zato was like this. So we find out that on Zato's planet, I forgot the planet's name. I don't know what it was called, but I'll find out eventually. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. But on Zato's planet, the Sporix were on his planet and they were attacking. Zato led the Knights. He led the Knights of Zato's planet against the Sporix, but then they were overwhelmed. The Sporix then they didn't defeat the Knights, but they were able to at least trash the alien planet, Zato's home planet, and then they left to go to Earth. Zato and his Knights followed them, but they were overwhelmed once the Sporix were able to grow giant. But then, out of nowhere, the Morphin Masters came into play. The Morphin Masters. That is something new. That only happened in the Boom Studio comics, where we actually see the Morphin Masters inside Power Rangers. So, the Morphin Masters came into play, and they were able to give the Knights their Power Ranger powers. And Knights were able to capture the Sporks and put them in that cage. But Zaytul's other Knights weren't able to survive. He was the only surviving member. And Zaytul then says that his other Knights were destroyed. And now that the Sporks have been released, it's up to them to stop them from destroying planet Earth. They will hide in specific locations, so they will be able to hatch randomly. But they'll hide in locations where they cannot be located so easily. Zaytul then says that it's up to them to stop them, but first, Amelia and Ollie will need training, and of course, they're up to the task. And that is basically Power Rangers Dino Fury, the first episode. I really liked it. It was not something big, but you really got to lay down the law on who these people are, what they're facing up against, and who is going to be good guy, bad guy, and what are their allies going to be like. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.